Smooth 98.1 Lagos, Nigeria world. Here we are gone past 6:30, and this is a Business Express for the next 15 minutes here on Smooth Breakfast. I'm Sope Martins, and of course, Rotus is in. Good morning, Rotus.
Good morning, Shokwe. Good morning to all our listeners and viewers out there. Good to be with you guys, and everybody's back to work.
Yes, welcome back. We've been waiting for you. We've been doing the show anyway. This is what being essential services is. So if you missed on yesterday's show, you can always go catch the replay where we are currently streaming live on youtube.com/smooth981FM Lagos. And by the way, if you are catching the live stream, leave your comments up on that stream so that you can join the conversation. You can also join the conversation on WhatsApp to this number 0809 440 981, and also on Twitter where we are at Smooth981FM. Rotus is at Rotanquote, and I'm at Sope Martins. Just use the hashtag Business Express 981 and type whoever you want in. All right, so Rotus, lots to discuss. It's like all the news waited for today. Yeah. So first of all, can we please talk about Stears and their rather successful seed round, and how we now have some sort of claim to Serena Williams? I like it.
Yeah, Serena Williams has a venture capital fund that's been investing in African startups. Well, she's investing around the world, but also
and
here
also
as
women's startups as well, right?
Correct. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So Stears is a Nigerian firm. They are a data firm. They write a lot of articles about economics, about explainer articles about what's going on around the country. And this seed round was for $3.3 million, and her firm has invested in the company, and it's really good for them because they also run a subscription service where you have to pay money in order to read their premium articles. They got free articles, but also they have premium articles that are available for a subscription service. So it's
the drugs free, then give them the premium ones at a price.
Exactly. And you want to read her quotes? I think I shared her quotes, or if you want me to read it.
Yeah. So this is it, right? She said, one of the main reasons I invested in Stears is not because of my love and appreciation for Africa, but because Stears has strategically thought of how to increase the investment community on the continent. They're aware of the complexities and have leverage with data and technology, and I truly respect what they're doing.
That's a ringing endorsement, Shofwe, of what the company is doing. And Nigeria has such a large data hole, right? And it really needs to be filled. And it's across a variety of needs for the country. For example, polls, and I talked about this yesterday on the marketplace. Do a majority of Nigerians support fuel subsidies and want them to stay in place? We talked about that senator yesterday who was saying that he wants to extend fuel subsidies to the end of the year because, quote, he doesn't want a new government being attacked by Nigerians. How does he know that? How does he, I think because we lack data, we're feeling around in the dark. And you see a lot of politicians, analysts like myself, pundits around speaking for Nigerians. So there's no data to actually tell us what a majority of Nigerians think about pressing issues. Do a lot of Nigerians want to own guns to protect themselves?
We don't have no Elon Musk conducting Twitter polls, do we?
Right, exactly. And even the Twitter polls are largely unscientific. We want to conduct like proper scientific polls around the country. So look at Joe Biden, right? There's a midterm election coming up next month. His approval ratings are about 42%. The majority of Americans say the country is going in the wrong direction. Polls tell you what the pulse of the nation is. And then for an outsider who is just looking in, what do we know about unemployment, about GDP growth, about all these other things? So that's what Stears, and not just Stears, Nairametrics, I have to mention Nairametrics as well. That's what Nairametrics and Stears and all these other companies are trying to do, to give outsiders an idea of what is happening here. I knew what was going on, fairly well with the Brazilian presidential elections. I knew the Bolsonaro, whatever his name is, he was behind. The challenger was ahead. Although in the end, the first round was closer than it was, but at least they gave us an idea based on polls and based on that data. So kudos to them. I mean, this money, I think, and they also, I think they had a website. Stears had a pretty good website that captured the 2019 presidential elections in terms of a interactive map, who won where, the number of votes gathered, and so on and so forth. I think they're doing it again for 2023. So this investment helps, and I hope, again, this couldn't wait till Tech Friday, because it just broke yesterday and we have been stale by Friday, so I've had to discuss it today. News like this is pretty much technology and investments in pretty much the only good news coming out of Nigeria at this point, apart from our athletes and our music and entertainment stars doing well. This is where,
and TV.
So it's decent. It's pretty good news on that front.
Fantastic stuff. Oh,
Yeah.
Okay, so let's take a look at what's going on with Kenya and Netflix's deal to market Kenya tourism.
It's very again, that just broke as well. There was even last Friday when that broke, or over the weekend. They've signed a deal to where Netflix is going to start promoting Kenya's tourism and inviting people to travel there. Kenya had a similar deal with CNN sometime a few years ago, but then I think there was a terrorist attack. CNN ran a report saying that Kenya is a hotbed of terrorism, and then they canceled the deal.
Yeah, that's not great for a partnership, man.
They canceled the deal. So Netflix, as you know, they've been losing some subscribers. They're looking to now have an ad base. They're looking for money. So I think they've signed a deal with the Kenya Tourism Board, where they will promote Kenya as a destination for tourism. There's a new president, William Ruto. He's coming. He says he's removing subsidies. He wants to, increase taxes on the wealthy. He wants to promote tourism. Man. Yeah, he's moving very quickly. So this is one of those things. And so it's interesting to see the deal this way. And Kenya is a tourism attraction, from the safaris to the Mombasa, what is it now? Is it the island? And there's a number of, or rather the beaches there. There are a number of attractive tourism destinations. Yesterday, we were talking about aviation and how I think Nairobi wasn't part of the top 10 lucrative African routes, right? Along with Lagos, Rabat, Addis Ababa, some notable cities that were missing. So for Kenya, the festive period is coming up. It's when the final quarter of the year, people are going to be traveling. The West is going to be kind of cold. So I think people will be looking for other warmer climates this holiday period where to go to. And so the deal comes at it's a pertinent time for them. So it's just interesting that it's with Netflix. So I think we're going to be seeing Netflix doing these kind of deals going forward to bring in the money.
Interesting. I'd like to see how this plays out. Like, am I going to be watching a show and then suddenly an ad for 10 years? I don't know how it's going to work out. So it'll be
so you're right. Actually, you're right, because they are starting their ad-based models now, where Netflix is now, they've been abandoning or ignoring ads for a while, but now they need money now. They're trying to diversify their revenue streams. So yes, if as one of the ads that you will see will be an ad to visit Kenya and check it out. And that's part of their new revenue stream diversification strategies that they're pursuing now. So again, pretty interesting on that.
Interesting. I'm not sure how I will navigate Netflix with ads, but okay. By the way, speaking of data, something that I love about Kenya is the fact that last year, so the government conducted the first ever national wildlife census, just so that they could know what animal species they had, which ones need more care in terms of conservation and all of that. And yeah, it goes back to data. I love it.
It does, and also to combat poaching because there's a poaching issue. Yeah.
Oh, massive.
Yeah.
So let them know what's on ground and what they're working with. Real quick, let me read this messages. Chimike Roy Agus says, please don't apologize for giving us 1 or 2 tech stories during the week. We're not complaining. And Jonah from Isola says, national polls that will truly reflect the feeling of the people is near impossible without a very literate population. It's not so much about lack of data, but congratulations to Stears.
Yeah, well, I think, polls are just about asking questions. So whether it's that's a good point. Whether it's a literate or, we're mostly a literate nation. Yeah, we do have high levels of illiteracy, but I think you can just get a representative sample of the rural areas of the country and how people feel. If they can't understand English, they can understand it. They can understand a question in a local language, and you can still get them to tell you how they feel about a certain issue. So I think it's important we move in that we move more into that direction.
Mm. All right. Okay, so let's move. Let me just check. Do you remember you can also tweet at us? We are at Smooth981FM. Use the hashtag Business Express 981. We've got a few minutes left, so let's talk about the big one, ASU. Yeah, according to
Yeah.
president ASU, or to ASU's president, they're gonna call off their strike.
Yeah, they were in a meeting
Wow.
with the National Assembly. They said they were encouraged by the way things were going. Maybe it looks like they're going to get a few concessions their way. Maybe, or I don't know. But look, this thing there've been false starts for 7 months now with respect to ASU and exactly where things are going. But this is the latest indication that maybe this 7-month strike is about to end. It depends again on what promises have been made. But they've moved, I have to say, the government has moved very slowly on this. They're not taking this that seriously. And it has to be said, it's because a lot of their kids are overseas. So they didn't really have to push hard. But we'll see if this ends.
Representatives.
Oh yeah,
So,
they're there as well. Remember Gbajabi Amila and his child in Harvard, where he posted that picture on Twitter, and then he had to take it down and apologize. So, I guess look, the ASU strike has affected the ecosystems in these universities where people sell food, they sell drink. There are mini economies around these schools where other people that depend on the existence of the students are there because of them. So this has impacted quite a number of people, and but most importantly, the students who are falling behind in their academic progress. So, we'll see. But the funding models for schools in Nigeria, that has to be revamped. They can't depend on governments. They're going to have to just, go it alone. So we'll have to see how that goes.
The president said that on Friday.
Yeah,
Government can't fund them alone. So
exactly.
Maybe there'll be some change.
There has to be, so we'll see what comes out of this, this series of meetings. But if they call an end to it, then a lot of students will be, I guess, happy to go back to school.
Well, maybe not the ones that found jobs and are like, what do I need school for? They're always on strike. My job isn't on strike, moving along. But it's a good development when I see it happening, not when I hear about it. When they're back in the halls and they're back at the lectures, then I'll believe it. All right. So let me just read this message from Joel, who says, this census for animals in Kenya, how do they avoid double counting since the animals all look alike? Will they assign names to them? Joel,
I think they tagged them. I think they might tag
the
them
animals.
Yeah, I think they tagged them.
I'll read some more. Ogenuchuko says, we also have a number of tourist sites in Nigeria. We should take that Netflix opportunity. And Gilbert Musa from Security. Ogenuchuko, let's just sort that out, then bring the tourists in their hordes. Gilbert Musa from Festac says, on ASU calling off their strike, what is key is to ensure that the 2009 agreement, amongst all other agreements, are honored, so we don't go back and forth.
Very true. That's what all this is all about.
And I'll read this final one from Yinka Bolu, and then we'll end the show. Yinka Bolu says, pride will choke some people to death. What strike are they calling off? They lost their appeal in the courts. If they don't go back, they will be sacked. Are you guys aware that the federal government proposed that students pay their school fees, that the students pay this true amounts of school fees? Or I'm guessing what school fee should be, right? And that ASU refused. Punch reported that $600 million was spent in abroad education in 5 months. We can't continue like this. Just burn that agreement. Yeah, don't worry. We'll be talking about that figure and what the CBN said about education come 7:30 when Freshly Pressed comes about. But yeah, so as you can see, Yinka Bolu is not a fan of ASU right now.
He's not, and he makes a good point about that court decision. So that does play a role in all this. But their own speak that what they've been talking about is how the meetings have been regressing. But that court decision did not go in their favor, and so that's a major catalyst or trigger in this discussion.
All right, and that's all we've got time for. Welcome back to the world of work, people. It's because every day you go to work that the economy is still running, so continue to do that. No more holidays for you. Rotus, I'll see you tomorrow at 6:30 right here on Business Express. Till then, have a
Thank
great
you.
day and also follow him. He is at Rotanquote on Twitter and you can find out he live tweets a lot of stuff. Just go and follow him